All right, 6 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. And we've had some ghost hunters on the show, Robin.
Yes, we have.
More than one ghost hunter. People who hunt ghosts, which is kind of an interesting thing because you can't see them, right?
Exactly.
We've never had a Bigfoot hunter, ever. We've never had a Bigfoot hunter. And the one thing I love about speaking to people who hunt things that are kind of interesting like that is, how do you find them? You know, where do you start? You know, like if I had a deer hunter in the studio, I would say, well, where do you find them? And they'd probably roll their eyes. Well, you are a Yankee, aren't you? Or something like that. I've had that said to me. Lee Schwartz is in the studio. He's an historian. He's a storyteller.
Yes.
And a historian teller.
Yeah, I guess
you could say it that way. And Kim, good morning, Kim Drexel, right?
Good morning, yes, sir.
How are you?
Good.
Looking pretty.
Thank you.
Are you a storyteller? Yes, you are. I've seen you tell stories. Yes. And a writer, correct?
Sometimes I've written reviews for the library.
And do you also write, Lee?
a little bit. I've written book reviews. I've never written a book, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We got one. Okay.
I know.
All right, so legend tripping is the topic, and the actual author of the book is on the phone.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that I get a picture of the book on the streaming thing, so we'll do that in just a second. But first, let's say hello to Robert C. Robinson. Good morning, Robert. How are you?
Good morning.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I am calling for my job over. When I'm not out legend tripping, I teach JROTC at Summerlin Academy in Bartow, Florida.
Oh, you're in Bartow. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on
Yes,
here.
sir.
So is the book going to help me find a Bigfoot?
Well, yes. I'll get a quick. It's going to give you the lowdown on where to go look for them, what to take with you, and how to go about doing it.
Okay, so I want to tell the listeners how you got to become familiar with Lee and with the library. They brought in a cast of a big footprint that was, oh my gosh, that guy had sharp toes. So tell me about this. Who wants to tell me about the story?
So what happened is some strange things have been happening around our library, and somebody came in our front door and said they found this big footprint. And so Kim, using Robert's book, was able to take our teens and show them how to make plaster casts. And so that's what that is right there.
Okay.
So, but we got to talking. We've heard stories of skunk apes and things like that around. And we started talking about who we might be able to get to come and talk about this and maybe do a little investigation. And then we looked up Mr. Robinson, and I called and spoke with him on the phone. I just loved his attitude about getting out in the world and exploring and having an open mind about things. So that's kind of how it came together.
All right, so Robert, what was the first thing you asked when you found out about this footprint near the library?
This might be the first he's hearing about it.
I thought he helped you with it.
No.
Okay. So what is your question? What is your question for them? I want to know.
Oh, if he was investigating, what would he do?
Yeah, what would you do? I mean, how would you know somebody didn't just make that with a spoon or something? Or a hammer?
Is that to me? Is that question for me?
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, the first thing we do is we make a plaster casting of it.
Okay, they did that.
And then we look at the detail, and we see if we can find any dermal ridges or anything like that. And of course, I'm not a foot expert, but I will usually take it to a friend of mine, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and if I think it is legit and it isn't being a hoax, I've had some people that I've come across some footprints which I clearly knew were hoax. But if I believed that it was real, I would send it to Dr. Meldrum.
Okay.
Or Cliff Beckman from the TV show Finding Bigfoot. I've conferred with him on some prints before, and I would get their take on it, and of course, if they felt it was from a real animal and not a hoax, I'd set up an investigation. We'd go out there and start looking for more.
Okay, so tell me about one that you've actually done, because I thought, for some reason, I thought you already had helped with this particular one. Tell me about one that was in your mind a real footprint, something really worth looking further into.
Okay, a couple of years ago, we were with another gentleman, another Bigfoot hunter by the name of Stacy Brown Jr., and we were up near Torreya State Park. And I'm trying to make this story go quick. We had broken into teams and went to various locations out there. and two of the gentlemen went over to some people's property who they had experienced something coming on their property. Well, they went out there that night. The owners of the property were not there. They were at some other place. And they had showed up, and they had something scream at them, and in fact, it scared both of them so bad they both jumped in the car, and then they came back. Well, I had been to another area that had some caves, and, you know, we didn't find anything. So I got back that night, and I hear these guys telling about the story about the screams. Well, one guy decided to, you know, two of them went back out there and said, hey, we found some prints out there. So the next morning we went out there, did a search of the area, and we did find some prints.
Okay, and so those prints. So nobody showed you the prints. You found them after hearing about the screams and the people being scared.
Yes, and we broke into groups, and we spread out. And I myself did not actually find each print. I mean, I was there, and they said, "Hey, come on over here," and I ran over there. Oh my God, you found a print. You know, because I would love to take credit for actually walking up on it, but, you know, I got to be honest.
Okay, so if I walk through the woods and I leave footprints, aren't they going to be gone like in a day? Doesn't a footprint imply that the thing was there not too long ago?
Well, it all depends on the weather. You know, I mean, I've been out to areas where, you know, like on some of these Florida trails, and I can clearly see where people have been out there with their dogs, and I can see deer prints and stuff. But, you know, if there's been like some foul weather, you know, thunderstorms and stuff like that, absolutely, you'll go out the next day and you won't find anything.
Okay, but generally in Florida, the prints would be gone pretty quickly, right? No?
Again,
I don't think so.
Again, it all depends on the weather.
All right, well, but we're in Florida. And it rains all the time. Now their footprint, I'm just trying to figure out how long ago, I know you don't know this footprint, but how long ago is it likely that this footprint was made?
Well, this footprint we found, it's near our front porch, and it was kind of...
It's not in the sidewalk, is it?
No. It was next to the sidewalk. It was next to the sidewalk, but maybe close to some cover, so it would maybe stay out of the weather a little bit. I mean, it is possible. I don't know. Like when I go walking in the woods, sometimes I do see, you know, deer tracks or whatever.
Was there more than one?
Not in this instance, no.
So the guy stepped one time.
Well, maybe he was on the sidewalk. Maybe you're right. I don't know. We'll have to have him take a look at this when he comes out. We also had a little video clip from a kid's story time. You guys saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So if you see that.
Oh, I didn't see it. What was it a clip of?
A figure walking in the woods.
A sighting.
Near the library. It was over the shoulder of some kids reading.
Oh,
their mom was filming them, and yeah. So.
Have you seen the video, Robert?
No, I haven't, not yet.
But your event, Lee, is a week from today. Robert's going to be there, and you're going to have all of these cool facts and things.
Yeah, we'll show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One thing I wanted to throw out there, whenever we do find prints, one of the indications that, you know, we may have somebody hoaxing us is there might just be one footprint, whereas... You know, if you have something out there, there'll be a left foot and a right foot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So where's the video? Where's the video?
Oh, it's on the library Facebook page, Marion County Library.
All right, I'm there. So how do I?
You gotta scroll down, I guess. Kim's better at that.
Kim, can you show me? Am I getting close?
Well, while you're looking for that, I'll tell you. Since we've had this display up, a lot of people come up to the library desk and they have their own Bigfoot stories or stories that they can't explain, and that's been pretty interesting. People are really excited about this, and I'm hoping that people come and share their stories. Misty, one of our librarians, she tells a story about her uncle who was hunting, and he went out to get his deer out of the woods.
Really?
And it was near nightfall, and then he heard screaming, and they just ran. And then she also did tell a story about her aunt who swore she saw a Bigfoot on what was it? Some street in Poughkeepsie, New York. So that may not be true, but but it was interesting to hear all these people tell their different happenstances.
So I'm looking at the video. Yeah, I don't. How come these
He's
videos
out
are
there.
always so shaky? What? They're always shaky, right? All these UFO and
Well, you're nervous. I mean, you've never seen anything like this. And
okay.
you just,
It's the mom that was videotaping the children's story hours, so she wasn't a professional or anything. So, Robert, you have different things in your book. You have explored different places. You bring out different areas. The one about Ringing Rocks was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's actually up near where my wife grew up. And the neat thing about it is there's only like 2 places in the entire world where this phenomenon happens. And another good thing, it's free. You know, if you ever go up to that area, you don't have to pay anything. And you go up there, you park, and you start down this trail. And the neat part is you'll start hearing the banging noise, you know, because it sounds just like a bell before you even come to the creek bed. And it's nice, a pretty neat thing.
Well, how did you manage to get over your fear as a child to be so inquisitive about this?
Well, oddly enough, and I got into it basically actually because I was afraid. There was 2 movies I always credit, the ones that kind of got me going. One was The Exorcist, and the second one was the Legend of Boggy Creek, and which is a 1974 movie about Bigfoot in the town of Falk, Arkansas. And it's a documentary, and it does feature a gentleman, you know, wearing a suit and reenacting some of the stuff. But as a kid, it kind of scared me. Well, I made a comment to my teacher about a movie now. It scared me, and she started bringing up the subject of Bigfoot. And she said, you know, there's a whole bunch of books on the subject in the library. So I just, you know, because I was scared of it, I wanted to know more about it. And I just started reading more and more. And then, of course, that awesome TV show In Search Of came on in the early 70s, and that just further fueled my interest. And it's just been something I've always enjoyed doing.
All right, so help us understand the names. One is Bigfoot, and one is Skunk Ape. And one is Sasquatch. Are they 3 different things, or are they the same thing with different names?
Quick answer, and again, this is my opinion. I think we're dealing with the same animals, just different names. Of course, Bigfoot is the animal that's seen over on the West Coast, you know, California, Oregon, and Washington. The term Sasquatch, of course, is from the Native Americans, and that pretty much came from Canada. And the skunk ape, of course, what is called here in Florida, but it goes by different names. You know, you got up in Ohio, it's called the grassman. In fact, in Florida, it also goes by another place up in Barden. It's called the Barden booger.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Barden
it's also been referred to as
love that.
Yeah. It's been referred to as the swamp ape. And over in Arkansas, it's called either the wild man or the falk monster. And in Texas, the Bigfoot hunters over there called wood apes.
What? What was the
Wood
first?
apes.
Wood apes.
Good morning.
Okay. All right. So the one called skunk ape, right? That's ours, skunk ape.
Yes.
Skunk ape.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
Yes, sir.
all right. Now the video that I was looking at from outside the Belleview Library is a black and white whatever. That sounds like a skunk, black and white, right?
Yeah.
Well, the term skunk ape doesn't actually derive from the fact that it's got like a white, you know, it comes from the smell that the animal's been known to emit at certain times when it's been seen, which people liken to a wet dog that's rolled in like a dead animal or something.
Yeah, but this is definitely a black and white one. Am I seeing it right, Kim? That's a black and white whatever, right?
Yeah.
How do you know it's not a black guy and a white guy walking next to each other? How do you know that?
It might be. I don't know.
What kind of things will you be doing during your program at the Bellevue Public Library, Robert, with Lee?
I'm going to go over my book and talk about the various legends and you know, about things to take with you, how to research it, some of the things not to do, and one of the things I'd stress when I tell people out there is safety.
Are you at the Kentucky
especially if you're taking young kids out there with you.
Are you at a horse race right now?
No, I know that's the school bell. I'm walking away from it to the other side of the classroom. we have an early release today, so the kids are pretty much gone, but they didn't change the bell system today.
All right, so I want to ask you about other things that are considered paranormal. Do you look into other things besides the skunk ape and all those things we just talked about?
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, with my wife, and we regularly do ghost hunts. I look into other things like, buried treasure and stuff. And one moment, let me step out for a second here. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can hear the horses running.
Yeah, that's them, all right. Well, my wife loves the whole ghost hunting stuff, and of course, Florida is Florida is probably one of the most haunted states in the union. Buried treasure. We look at on the UFO phenomenon too. We look at. I'm a member of MUFON, so the UFO sightings.
So Robin and I saw an unidentified flying object one time. I'm not making this up. This was a long time ago. We went to a meeting. If you remember, Lee, I don't know if you remember, or Kim, you might be too young. There was the all children's playground. Does anybody remember that? Okay. So we went to a meeting for that before it. And after the meeting, we were leaving, and it was starting to get dark. And overhead, I'm not making this up, there was a bright, like a turquoise-colored light that went overhead. Like I'm gonna make a sound to illustrate it. It was like that.
It was quick,
but it made no sound. I'm just using that as a way to demonstrate it on the radio. That's how fast it was. And I thought, oh my gosh, something just crashed in the woods. And there was nothing. And we went looking, and there was nothing. It looked like it crashed in the woods. And so we're just driving, and oh my gosh, what the heck was that? And now we're listening to the radio. This guy on the radio, because you know how radio guys are. He's talking about lots of people calling up. He says, I don't know what it was. I didn't see anything. The next morning on the news, people were reporting it up and down the east coast of the country.
Wow.
Not just here in Ocala. So whatever it was bigger than we thought and went farther than we thought. And to this day, no clue what it was. But it made no sound. It just was super quick and really bright.
Well, I think that's the neat thing about Mr. Robinson's book is that you're trying to answer those questions, trying to figure it out.
Right.
So it may be not a Bigfoot. It could be, just, hey, there's a big guy or whatever it would be. And I also like the stories, the legends of everything.
I want to walk past your window one day when nobody knows.
It probably was you. Yeah, who are we talking about?
No, I'm just white. I'm not white and black.
Well, you carry an accordion.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you are.
So black accordion.
So on the day that Robert Robinson will be speaking about his book Legend Tripping, what other activities are you going to have there?
Well, it's spring break, so we have a lot coming up. We have a Hunger Games training camp on a Friday. We have a storyteller on a Saturday. And then on that Wednesday, we have in the morning a big Seussapalooza, right? Is that? So we're celebrating Dr. Seuss in the morning and Bigfoot in the afternoon.
So are you going to have Robert Robinson there in the afternoon and actually take people on a Bigfoot hunt?
Oh, I don't know. He'll probably review all the evidence that we've collected and probably give his opinion, I would imagine, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I just think a lot of people are going to come out, and they'll probably have their own stories to share with them, because it really has been...
everybody will have a story, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of, just like you just told, there's a million of them. Everyone has something that they can't explain.
But if I was hunting for something, Robert, would I have a special... Because I noticed that in the book you have some electronic devices that might be able to help me out.
Of course, one of the devices I like to take out with me, of course, is number one, you got to have a flashlight. I always tell everybody, you got to have a flashlight going out there. Because I've actually been out there with somebody who didn't bring what they were supposed to. But some of the things that we like to bring out there are night vision goggles, a thermal imager, which lets you, pick up, see heat sources out in the woods, and also we've got a parabolic ear where we can pick up sounds.
Can I ask a question about the flashlight? Why couldn't I go out in the daytime?
These animals seem to be more active at night, like most animals, and it's a security thing. Now, these animals have been seen. In fact, I always tell people. And I do, and I stated in my book, when you get out to an area where there has been a sighting, that's where you want to go look. You need to go walk around and just look around and see if you can find footprints or broken sticks, or or just some kind of evidence that there's something out there, and to get the lay of the land, especially if it's someplace you've never been, so you can kind of get an idea of what it is that you're, looking at the trails and stuff. Right. You never want to go someplace that you've never been and hit it at night. You're going to get lost.
You served in the United States Army for 27 years, and you were deployed to Afghanistan in support of the Operation Enduring Freedom. When you were over there, were there things that you saw that you couldn't explain because the terrain is so much different than here?
No, not really. I mean, I'm always listening for stuff, if I hear, especially because I was a military policeman. So, an Army cop. So, and if I heard something strange or something going on, I would definitely, I'm going to have to go out and check out and see what's going on with this. But in Afghanistan, no, man, I can't say there was anything. And of course, I was a combat zone, and the only thing I was really concerned about is not getting shot at.
Yeah, those are the real monsters. All right, well, I do have somebody waiting patiently on the phone. Just to real quickly tell the new listeners, Robert C. Robinson is on the phone. He has written a book called Legend Tripping: The Ultimate Adventure. It's getting really good reviews on Amazon. I'm looking at the reviews right now. And he will be at the Belleview Public Library on Wednesday. That's a week from today?
Yes.
A week from today, the 20th at 3:30, and he'll be talking about his book and talking about the very thing we're talking about, which is looking for Bigfoot, Sasquatch, skunk apes, Larry, and anything else that might be walking around out there. All right, let me go to the phone. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Thank you. Sir, you're a Bigfoot people. Have you guys ever been compared to people that thought they've seen flying saucers?
Yes, sir. I've interviewed people. Like I said, I'm a member of MUFON, so I have interviewed people that have seen, flying saucers and, just unidentified flying objects in general.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the call. You know what's compelling to me is those drawings that they find from not in outer space, but when they look back down at the Earth.
Ah, yes, yeah.
Like big, gigantic drawings of birds. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
Something made that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of unexplained things.
I wonder what that was. Yeah.
You should go on a legend trip.
I should go on a legend trip. I would like to go. I think going at night would make it fun, right?
Yeah, well, my son and I, we read, I think it's a book called American Monsters, but it was about different things like this. And then we knew we were getting Mr. Robinson, so we just went out in the woods, and he knew everything inside and out, and we were talking about it all the time. It's just great to share those stories.
Is that right?
And yeah, it was really a nice experience, just hiking in the woods with a little imagination,
You also warn people about the terrain that they might come across in your book, Robert, and you bring out snakes, since they're so prevalent in Florida, that we should be on the lookout for them to take all precautions.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I mean, like I said, being in the military and being dealing with high school kids and dealing with some people, I make, safety is my priority when I go out there. I mean, it's fun, I do have an objective to go find what's out there, but safety comes first. And I've taken, young adults out there on some of these legend trips, and, I always try to make sure that they know what they're doing. And sometimes I end up turning into like a scout leader and teach them basic camping skills, and sometimes I end up teaching them survival skills just in case something happens.
Tell us a story about something you were hunting that you were getting closer to finding, or maybe one that you actually found. Have you found any at all, or at least photographic proof that there is something?
Well, we had our incident. I was out with some Bigfoot hunters one night, and we were on this property where the owner had told us they had seen some stuff. And we were out, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. We had broken into a team, and I was with myself, and there was 2 others, one being a female. And she made a scream, and all of a sudden it sounded like 1,000 coyotes answered us back. But right after that, I heard something in this palmetto field, and I brought up the thermal, and it looked like somebody was standing out in the middle of the palmetto field.
Oh, wow.
So I said, first thing that popped in my head was, oh man, maybe it's a poacher, because we were warned by the owner to watch out also for poachers. So anyway, I went ahead and I handed the thermal over to the friend next. I said, hey, there's somebody standing in that field over there. So again, this is all pitch black, okay?
Right.
We didn't bring our flashlights out or anything.
Right.
And then he brought the light up, and he just caught a glimpse of something running across the field real quick.
Wow.
He said, "Oh my God, that was quick." So we got out there. You could see where it was standing and pushed some stuff down, but unfortunately, we couldn't see where there was any prints. But in order to get an idea of the height, I went back to where I was standing, and I stuck another friend of mine out there, David Lauer, who's exactly 6 foot. He says, "Now, just compare my size with what you saw out there." And whatever it was a good 2 feet taller than David.
Wow.
How big was the one outside the Bellevue Library, do you know?
That's scary.
I don't know. We estimate it's probably about that size, maybe 8 foot, 8.5 feet, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because in the picture, you can see how tall it is.
Yeah, we'd have to go measure a tree next to it, probably.
Yeah,
or
did
something.
you go out there and then see?
We did go out there, but we didn't take a measuring tape. We should.
That was scary.
Yeah.
For you to even go out there.
Well, even yesterday when Kim was closing the library, she can tell a story.
Yeah, so I was closing up, and we have a sign that we bring in each night. So I went out to get the sign, and I just heard this like banging, and I hadn't heard anything like that before.
Oh,
and
wow.
so I turned the corner, and when you watch these horror movies, and you're like, "Don't do it! Don't go over there!" I was thinking, "Oh my God, I'm that person!" But I didn't see anything, and I heard the banging, but I couldn't figure out where it was coming from.
Wow.
Oh my, that's
like on the
scary.
window or
That
the
gives
door?
me chills.
It was just like that. I don't know.
Lee.
Wow.
Oh.
Come on.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I told him this morning as soon as he came in. I was like, "Bigfoot, are you out?"
Are you alone? Were you alone?
Yeah, I just walked out the front door to take care of closing stuff.
Do you have a gun? You need a gun. Do you have a weapon?
No, you need a security guard there. This is scary, but boy, this is going to be a really fabulous
Robert,
program.
do you bring a weapon with you?
As far as a handgun or a firearm, no, I don't like to take those out with me because, nothing against them. I just think to me, I just doesn't.
No, but
I do bring bear mace with me as just a precaution because, let's be real, there's stuff out there that, panthers and bears and other things you may run into.
Right.
And bear mace works on everything.
Yeah, I bet it
from
does.
snakes to wild pigs, it works on everything.
Have you tried it?
On what?
Well,
On anything.
yes and no.
Put it on my eggs.
What happened was I was out with my son one time, and I let him hold the bear mace.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were walking, and I jumped back because I thought it was a wild pig, and I didn't realize he had taken the little safety mechanism off. So when I jumped back, he started spraying that stuff all over the place, including me.
Oh my
You
God.
taught him well. That's great.
I tell you, I had to strip all my clothes off to the exception of my underwear because it was burning so bad. And
Okay.
Poor son. Oh.
It was burning everywhere but where the underwear was.
yeah,
We should all wear clothing made out of underwear fabric, I think.
You have a lot of nice comparison photos in your book. You have one where you have the ape and then the man, and then you've got this big old grizzly bear next to it, and then you've got Bigfoot next to that. That's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, I try to throw everything out there because because somebody says, "So you're an expert?" I said, technically speaking, there is no expert because, in other words, and I'm going to use Jane Goodall. She's an expert on primates. If you went to Jane Goodall and said, "Hey, I want you to show me a gorilla," Jane could show you a gorilla. So if I'm going to say I'm a Bigfoot expert or a skunk ape expert, I should be able to show you one of those animals right off the bat. And I'll be honest, I can't do that. I can tell you stories that I've heard, and I can show you where they've been seen at. But if you were to ask me right this second to take you out and show you one, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, no, because you're still investigating.
Wow.
This is
exciting.
Yes.
All right. Robert C. Robinson is going to be at the Bellevue Public Library 1 week from today at 3:30 p.m.
Yep.
So do we need to know directions, anything, Lee? What do we need?
Bellevue Public Library. Our phone number is 438-2500. We'll give you directions from there.
All right.
And it's a free event.
Always free. Yeah, everything's
event.
always free. Yep. It'll be fun.
Fabulous.
Kim, don't leave the library alone. Make sure there's somebody
No, have
with you.
somebody there with you every night now. Gosh.
Lee, good to see you, Lee.
Good to see you guys.
Thank you for coming in. Lee is such an amazing contributor to our community. So this is just amazing. One other example right here, bringing Robert Robinson to our community. Robert, be careful coming up here. We got a black and white monster outside the library.
Hey, I'm looking forward to coming up.
And a big old cast of a foot, and that is pretty cool looking.
And I did find your book on Amazon. Do you want to give us a website?
Well, it is located at, like you said, Amazon, and my publisher, Adventures Unlimited Press. They also sell it. And I will be bringing some books up with me on Wednesday if anybody's interested in purchasing one.
Okay, and I do have the website legendtrippersofamerica.blogspot.com.
Yes, that's my blog.
Okay, very good. Robert Robinson, thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a little break. Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Legislation allowing voters to limit Florida Public School Board members to 8 years in office cleared a committee in the Senate proposed by Senator Dennis Baxley. The Marion County School Board voted to fire a Westport high school teacher accused of making inappropriate comments to a female student. A 58-year-old worker at Disney's Epcot died in an industrial accident yesterday evening. A 37-year-old corrections officer who works in Marion County has been charged with capital sexual battery. An 11-year-old boy had his foot and leg crushed on the E.T. adventure ride at Universal Studios. A former Margate City Commissioner has been sentenced to 5 years in state prison for a corruption case related to a tiki bar he operated. A bill that would define anti-Semitism under Florida law is advancing in the legislature, and Disney cruise ships are getting a second island destination. Disney has purchased property on the island of Eleuthera. And that is your news brief from The Source.
The NFL alumni is sponsoring a Clays for Kids, a sporting event to benefit the Marion County Champions for Champions. The event will take place at the Robinson Ranch in Inglis, Florida on Saturday, April 6th. Call 352-462-0380 for detailed information. The NFL alumni will provide gift bags, breakfast, lunch, prizes, and drawings throughout the day. Call 352-462-0380 for detailed information on the Clay for Kids sporting event hosted by the NFL alumni.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look